Hello Slicey Dicers, this is Brian with another knife review for you. Today we have the Bestech Pterodacyl, a very new model from Bestech, so new in fact that you probably can't get one right now. They did come up on mass drop briefly, but they're going to be hitting regular retailers within probably a couple days after the time that I put this up. I know they've been shipped out and stuff, so you should be able to see them pretty soon. This is a higher end knife from Bestech, titanium frame lock, flipper, S35 VN steel, these nice carbon inlays, titanium milled pocket clip, titanium backspacer, all kinds of really nice stuff and details on it. And it's also a knife that's kind of showing some of the cool changes that Bestech is making. They're improving all the time. They're listening to a lot of us. I know that I communicate with them regularly, and they do seem to listen to suggestions that we've made. The hardware's changed a bit. No more free spinning pivot, which is really nice. Just little stuff like that. They're just coming along, making a lot of changes. This one has one thing that changed they made. I wish they hadn't. We'll get to that later. But other than that, other than this one nitpick I'm going to have, this is a really freaking nice knife, I do have to say. Spoiler alert, this is a pretty positive review. You're looking at a retail of about $200, which I don't think is bad at all for an S35 titanium flipper with carbon and stuff. That's pretty darn good, I do have to say. Quite happy with the price on it. It comes with all the cool usual Bestech stuff for their higher end stuff. It comes with a nice little pouch. You've got a nice little nice little cloth in there, a polishing cloth. They fold it cool, like a napkin at a fancy restaurant. I think that's kind of neat. But I review a lot of knives. I get excited about stupid stuff. So I just thought that was kind of cool. They fold it like a little pocket square or something. All right, let's do some stats before we get too far into this. You have a blade length of 3.6 inches, overall length of about 8.5. You have a weight of 4.4 ounces, not super light, but not bad at all for a knife of this size. You have a blade thickness of 0.15 inches, handle thickness of 0.55 inches, and the thickness behind the edge is right about 20 thousandths, so not bad at all. Makes it a pretty decent slicer, I do have to say. Let's do some size comparisons. We'll just do the standards with this one. You have your Benchmade 940. It's a little bit longer than that. You have your, we'll do the Buck 110 because I've been doing that a lot lately. Just a little bit shorter than Buck 110, which is a pretty large knife. And your Spyderco PM2. Yeah, it's very similar in overall length to the PM2. And a standard that I have forgotten to include a lot lately, I've been slacking, your Spyderco Delica 4. Obviously quite a bit bigger than a Delica 4. All right, let's talk about this knife in more detail. Quality-wise and aesthetic-wise, I really like the look of this blue. It does also come in a green with some gold backspacer and gold pocket clip. Can't say I'm much of a fan of that. But it also comes in a bronze with this same gray that I do really like that. I am kind of tempted by the bronze one. This blue also is not bad. As everyone knows, I like plain stuff, but I have to say, this is a really subtle blue. And when you put it in your pocket, there is a little bit sticking out, but it kind of, especially if you're wearing jeans, it really blends in. It doesn't stick out much. It's not like a big flashy knife when it's in your pocket, but it's pretty when you take it out. So I can't really knock that too much. Quality, it's very good. It's very well made. They still use that stupid font. They did make it smaller, but it's still just font. And I'm not gonna complain about that all the time till they totally change it to a new font or move it up here or something. I don't like that font. But other than that, aesthetically, it flows well. I guess I'll put it in here. I was gonna save it for the blade, but I guess this is also an aesthetic thing. This is a bead blast finish. I don't like the look of the bead blast. I love the flats. Look great. These machined flats look awesome. I wish the blade was just polished or satin or something. I don't like the bead blast. Of all possible blade finishes, that's my least favorite. I'm not a fan of that. But here you have it. On this particular knife anyway, I do think Bestech is getting away from that, but I'm not sure. But it looks fine, I guess. It's just my least favorite finish. That's gonna be more a personal thing. But that blade, no matter what the finish is on it, it does cut really well. It's pretty thin behind the edge. It's not ridiculously thick. It's got a very high flat grind, so it is a pretty darn good slicer. It came super sharp, really sharp out of the box, actually. Very, very good. It is S35VN, which is completely good to go. The tip is just about right for a kind of EDC knife. It's not overly robust. It's not overly thin. It does have this kind of sheep's footy, Warren Cliffy kind of shape to it. I do like the blade shape. It is very useful. It's all belly. There's no real flat to it at all. If that's going to bother you, then that's going to bother you. It doesn't really bother me, but there is almost no flat whatsoever. But it's a good, useful blade shape, good slicer. What else can you really ask for? Ergonomically, it's excellent. I do have to say, I really like the ergonomics on this knife. For my hands, my large size hands with skinny little fingers, it fits my hand just perfectly. It really does. No hot spots whatsoever. I mean, absolutely none. You can choke up on it, which I love that. Especially on a larger knife, being able to choke up and get in to do some detail stuff is really nice. Jimping on it, just right. Just aggressive enough to be functional, but not crazy over the top. I really like it. There's a little bit of jimping here on the back spacer, which actually does kind of catch you a little bit when you're holding the knife and help you hold your hand in, which is cool. Not that it really needs it. You're really locked in when you're holding onto it. Excellent job on the ergonomics, guys. Just excellent. Carry-wise, it's not bad. This pocket clip is over a little bit, which I get. They don't want it to hit the lock bar, which that's horribly annoying when they do that. But I do have to say, the roundness of it is a fairly thick handle, but the roundness of it, you don't feel it in the pocket much. The only problem I have with it really in carry is for some reason, it was pretty hard to get it in my hand and out of my pocket. It is fairly tall, but not ridiculously tall. It's like what we're looking at, less than 1.5 inches. It shouldn't be as bad in the pocket as it is as far as reaching in and out, but something about it, I tried it in several different pairs of pants. It's really hard to reach past. It's just odd. I don't know. It's just a little hard to get my hand past. I've carried larger knives that were easier to get my hand past, so that's something to think about. But it doesn't carry particularly high. I mean, there's not much sticking out, and like I said, especially if we're wearing jeans, this blue just blends in with everything. It's almost like it's camoed. So it's pretty meh on the carry, I do have to say. Again, the roundness of it makes it, you don't feel it in your pocket. This isn't jabby or anything, but it's just really hard to get your hand past. Now, when we get to the action on this thing, though, oh my, it's very good. Bestech's actions are getting better and better and better all the time, and man, this one is great. It's pretty well broken in. This has been a pass around, but nobody's been taking it apart and screwing with it. But man, it's just total fall shut. Detent, perfect. Flipper tab, perfect amount of jimping, just enough to help you out, not uncomfortable at all. Sticks out a little bit, but not too bad. Light switch, push button, however you want to do it. Deployment on this thing is just great. It really, really is. So I guess that brings me already to our conclusion. I don't think I forgot anything here. It's just a really good knife. And like I said, sometimes when knives are really good, the reviews are short because you just want to say, you know what, it's a great knife. Don't care for the bead blast. I'm always going to say I wish it came in just plain titanium, but the bronze is pretty darn good, so I can't really even complain about that. And the pictures anyway, that bronze looks really cool. And I have other bronze knives, and bronze is a very close second choice in color to me to plain titanium, so I may pick up the bronze one. Yeah, just don't like the bead blast, and I don't like the font. Other than that, it's a good, solid quality knife, and Bestech has been a good, solid quality company to deal with. Yeah, I guess if I can make one other little complaint, the carbon sticks out a bit. But again, this is only $200. It's not $250 or $300 like a lot of the other titanium knives that have these carbon inserts. So I'm not going to complain that these ones stick out a little bit because it's a lot cheaper than those. So just so many nice little details on this. That pocket clip it's very easy to slide in and out of the pocket. Like I said, it's just hard to get your hand past. But man, it's a really good, solid bargain for $200. I have to say, I have $300 knives that are the same kind of configuration that aren't any nicer than this. And Bestech's been great to deal with. You get your little pouch and all that stuff. So I have to say, I do recommend you try this knife out. Ergonomically, it's outstanding. And the blade cuts really well. I like the blade shape. Those are the two most important things for a knife. Does it fit in your hand? Does the blade work? The answer to both of those is an unequivocal yes. And the quality is well worth the $200, if not more. So I hope you guys have found this informative. I do really, really like this knife. I hope Bestech sells a ton of them. They have some other cool stuff coming down the pike. They are definitely a company to keep an eye on. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. I've been Brian. Have a good one.